get us up to date on.
Yeah, that's right, Kristen. So we are weather aware for 2 days this week. So today we're going to just be dealing with some rain, no threat for severe weather. That changes for tomorrow as we see another round of heavier rain on top of everything that we get today. That may lead to some flooding concerns with 3 to 5 inches of rain just between now and Wednesday night. There is a very small threat for a couple of those storms to turn a bit noisy on the strong side tomorrow, maybe severe. We'll talk more about that in a moment. I think the better threat for severe storms this week will be with our second system coming on Saturday into Saturday night, but also going to be a continuing flooding threat with even more rain on top of what will be a very saturated ground by the end of this week. So for tomorrow, we're focusing more on that flash flooding threat. The Weather Prediction Center outlining much of the northern half of Alabama and that slight risk for flash flooding. What does that mean for you? It means that there is an elevated threat for a few of these storms to drop copious amounts of rain in a very short amount of time, and that will lead to some poor drainage, runoff in many places. Of course, this is all going to be accruing after we get today's rainfall as well. So just to review some of those preps that you should be aware of for heading into an event like this, we are going to be checking out those flooded areas. Make sure that you know your area, know your surroundings. If you're going to be out driving in an unfamiliar area, know if you're going to be driving through a low-lying area, some creek beds, things like that. Living in an urbanized area, we want to make sure those street drains are cleaned out, and also you want to make sure that your home gutters are cleaned out as well. A lot of leaves still on the ground inside of these storm drains, inside of these gutters from when they fell this previous fall, so that's something to keep in mind. And we want to stay alert and watch for rising water, of course, as we go throughout the next 36 hours or so. Satellite and radar showing that at least half of the region is dry right now. The rest of us mainly along and west of a line from Aniana back towards Birmingham, Alabaster, towards Brent and westward, dealing with some showers right now with the exception of Pickens County, Tuscaloosa, Greene and Hale, where they're seeing temperatures in the 60s right now and still staying dry. Where the rain is more steady, they're in the 40s and 50s right now from Hamilton to Double Springs and Coleman. A radar shows most of this is working its way towards the northeast, but it's gradually building towards the southeast. So over the next several hours throughout the rest of today, we'll continue to see this radar fill in for the rest of central Alabama. Where that steadier rain is falling right now would be for places like Jasper back up towards Coleman, Double Springs, Hackleburg, Hamilton. You're seeing that steady to moderate light rainfall right now. We're going to continue to see that over the next several hours, but again, continuing to work its way into areas that are completely bone dry at the moment. So temperatures still reach the lower half of the 60s for mainly areas along and east of Interstate 65 today, where they're going to be holding on to the dry weather a little bit longer. Once that rain begins to fall, temperatures will fall with it back into the 50s as well. We'll see that heavier rain start to work its way into Birmingham just in time for the evening rush hour, so allow for some extra time to head home tonight. Could be a bit dicey, and we'll see that heavier rain on the onset. I think after we get through that, we'll see more of a light intermittent rainfall overnight. Not going to be nearly as steady, but again, continuing to see more of those showers even into tonight and early Wednesday. I think if there's any time frame for a good break in the rain is going to be early tomorrow morning, but this warm front's going to start to lift towards the north. So areas that are waking up near this warm front likely going to be seeing some pretty heavy rainfall for the first half of our Wednesday. Then we'll get another break late tomorrow morning, early afternoon. Temperatures warming close to 70 degrees, and this is when we'll watch for a few stronger storms, mainly across west central Alabama, working its way into the I-65 corridor around 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. More in the way of some very heavy rainfall settling in for tomorrow evening, heading into tomorrow night. Look at this, just round after round of very heavy rainfall working its way through central Alabama, and then we'll finally dry out going into Thursday morning with much cooler temperatures in store in the 40s and 50s for the first half of our Thursday. So as we look into that severe weather outlook for tomorrow, there is that threat for a few of those storms to briefly turn severe. The main threat would be maybe an isolated tornado or a damaging wind gust, mainly in west central Alabama. I think that threat really begins to wane the further east that you start to get. Rainfall totals, at least through tonight, are going to be anywhere between a ½ inch to an inch, but as we go into Thursday morning, a very good possibility that many places across central Alabama could be looking at potentially 4 to even 5 inches of rain. And then we're watching another severe threat on Saturday. This is the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Looks like it's going to be mainly Saturday night that we're going to have to keep an eye out for some severe storms, and definitely have several ways to receive alerts. Temperatures much colder for the second half of the weekend, falling temperatures throughout the day on Sunday, and we're in the lower to middle 20s by Monday morning. Kristen?